My name is DJ JS-1 from the Rocksteady crew. I tour the world with Rozelle for the past decade. Growing up, being a New Yorker, being a graffiti artist, I was always inspired by artistic creativity, just trying to do wild style pieces and stuff, and tried to break dance when I was a young kid. And the whole hip-hop movement, if you were growing up here in the 80s in New York, you kind of got sucked into the hip-hop movement, and that's really what it's all about. It's creativity and just being able to take anything and make something out of it. And I just put that into my DJing and my beat making and everything. It's just the whole city itself and that movement kind of really inspired me to do what I do, and that's why I kind of stick to that traditional stuff. It's just the essence of hip-hop. I know it sounds corny and it's cliche, and people talk about, oh, he's the hip-hop guy, but that really is what I loved. I loved from the days of spray can art and subway art and wild style. I just love what it was all about, and I still try to do that today, even though it's 2012, but that stuff is still relevant, and especially around the world. You know, the Rocksteady crew, the B-boys are still going strong. All my boys are still doing graph. The graph scene is still strong. Even though they try to buff the walls, it's still strong. And it's taking nothing and making something and being creative with it. And I love being creative. I can't sit around and do nothing. I get bored. You know, I know other people just want to chase chicks and drink beers, but I like spending my time doing something creative. So that's what's inspirational. Yeah, I was so miserable when Premier didn't put my album on his favorite albums list of 2011, so I was really inspired by that. I was like, damn, Preem, you know, you had Drake on there, but nah. I mean, I know that's just his personal choice to what he likes, but you know, to tell you the truth, being serious, the fact that I get to travel with Rozelle and tour with Rozelle, it's such a huge inspiration for me, and that's the stuff that always just keeps me going, because you're talking about a guy who didn't really have much growing up, and he figured out a way to keep millions of people around the world thrilled and excited by stuff that he does with just his mouth, making sounds. And recently his mom passed away, like right before Christmas, and you know, you get even closer with people when family stuff happens like that, and just seeing him and how he handled it and how he's right back on the ball and going even harder and stronger at his craft and doing what he does and what he loves, that kind of inspired me. You know, I lost my mom too, and I handled it probably a lot worse, and I felt weak, and seeing him, how he's handling it and putting it into being creative is definitely inspirational. And that's only a few weeks ago, and it's got me motivated to go even harder when sometimes I feel like quitting because everybody likes Drake. The biggest challenge that I've been able to overcome is not having a team, not having a label, not having a lot of money and a lot of support, and being able to actually have my 5 albums that I've done over the years and my breakbeats and my mixtapes and all the touring stuff, to be able to do that and truly be independent. You know, there's a lot of independent labels that, yeah, they're independent, but they're backed by some real money, or you know, they have a whole team of people, 20 people running around, and interns and a web guy and this. I mean, I really honestly did everything by myself. You know, of course I had a few friends here that help out, or people I pay to do some artwork and stuff, but it's really hard, especially in today's age when people their attention span is like 3 seconds and they just need stuff constantly. It's really cool, and I'm proud of that. I'm still around. You know, I never worked a so-called real job, even though I feel like this is actually harder than a real job sometimes. But I've made a living, and I have my family, and we're doing okay, and everything is all right, and I'm doing what I love. I never had to sell myself short. I have no penalties. I have no hip-hop penalties. I've turned down stuff that other people would jump at, and I thought it was crap. So I'm proud to be able to do this by myself and still be relevant and still do what I love and stay true to what I love. So that's kind of what I'm really proud of. When I make my albums, you know, I love, of course, all the legends that we grew up listening to, you know, from KRS-One and Cool G Rap and all these different kinds of guys, Big Daddy Kane. Of course, obviously, you know, we love those guys. And it's a blessing for me to be able to get those guys to work with me, which, I mean, shout out to KRS-One, because he was the first artist to actually record a song for me, for my stuff, which when you come in the door as a recording artist and the first guy that you get is a full song from KRS-One, it's pretty nice, and that kind of inspires you to really go at it. And you know, through the years, I've always been an underground hip-hop fan, and I love the college radio shows, and I love the talented MCs that maybe don't get anywhere, or maybe people never heard of them, or maybe they only sold 1,000 pieces of vinyl in their life, but they're really good. You know, like we spoke on The Last Emperor, 99% of the population has no clue who that guy is, but he's so incredibly good. And, you know, if I have a chance to work with Last Emperor, and I can pair him with JS-1, of course you want to do that. And then, you know, when making my albums, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to bridge the gap between, you know, some of these guys that are legends and some of these new guys who are talented, who maybe don't have a chance to talk to each other, maybe don't know each other. People from different sides of the country too. Like on my first album, I had Evidence and Pep Love from Hyro with C-Ray's Walls and my boy React. Like people that probably would have never got together and did anything together. And you know, it's really cool, and a lot of the artists are appreciative of that. You know, on the album I did called No Sellout, I had KRS-One and Cannabis together, which actually online, I think they might even talk bad about each other once or twice or something like that. You know, when I approached both of them about doing it, you know, they were both really excited to do it. And it's just cool because, you know, they've been around forever and they never did it, so it probably would have never happened. So I'm giving the hip-hop fans that love that stuff, I'm giving them a little present too. Getting Pharoah Monch and OC together, of course they've done a few songs together, but if you listen to their more recent albums, they weren't together on the songs. And I'm thinking like, why not? They're friends, and man, we love that stuff. So, you know, when I ask them, they're like, yeah, let's do it. But sometimes it just takes the third party, the separate guy, to kind of step in and say, hey, let's put this together. So I just do what I love. You know, everybody on my album is people that I love their lyrics. I love what they do as an MC. I haven't worked with anybody that I thought would get me extra views or extra sales. It's just people that I really love. And when you get a chance to do something and it's only from the heart, it's not really, you know, with these extra intentions or a secret agenda to be more popular or to get spins or views, you get a chance to put together some really cool stuff. And that's how you can get a Tone Deaf and a Pac FM and get them on the same album with a Cool G Rap and MOP, which probably you're not going to see Tone Deaf and MOP together on the same album unless you buy mine. And you know, I'm proud of that. I think it's really awesome to do that. They probably would never be in the same place talking about doing songs. And you know, I hope that other people appreciate that. You know, even though most people don't, that's why my album is called No One Cares, and I'm laying dead on the cover because that's what people would really appreciate, me shutting up and being dead. But you know, it's a blessing to be able to do these albums and have connections and prove myself to these people where they're willing to work with me. After hearing Tony Touch's 50 MCs mixtape a long time ago, which is one of the greatest mixtapes ever, I just figured, like, why not, if I'm going to put this album together, why not try to get tons of great people on it? And it is a headache, you know. I'm looking for a sponsorship from Excedrin, so if anybody out there is watching and knows somebody, please, I take a lot of it dealing with rappers, but I think at the end of the day, it's worth it, and I just hope that other people appreciate what I do. What I would probably want them to remember me as you know, as a really, really good DJ, and a decent producer who stood his ground for what he loved and promoted and pushed for our type of sound and kept that traditional vibe going when I had chances to do some corny stuff and I didn't do it. And you know, underground it's an attitude. It's not just when people are like, oh, it's just because nobody likes your stuff. That's not what underground hip-hop means. It's not when I grew up listening to Juggernauts and what Nonfiction was doing. You know, it was a movement and it's an attitude, and I just want to keep that vibe going. So I hope people appreciate what I do, because that's what I'm trying to do, keep that vibe alive, where, you know, a lot of other guys that produce, you know, they try to make their beats fit in with what everybody else is doing, and if you listen to my stuff, it definitely doesn't probably sound like that. And I would just hope that they remember me for that. And for traveling the world with Rozelle, you know, we bring turntablism and beatboxing to millions of different people around the world. We've done over 1,200 shows in 40-something countries, hundreds of cities. A couple of times we were like the first people to perform hip-hop in a city, you know, and we've traveled to like small farm towns in the middle of nowhere on some really, really long journeys that are not that easy. You know, I feel like I aged an extra 10 years from some of those trips just to bring what we love there. You know, we don't get paid $40,000 a show and have white roses and you know, all this stuff in our hotel room. So it's just us doing what we love and really supporting the art. And I hope people appreciate that. You know, I really do. I hope that they recognize when I'm out there yelling Rock Raiders' name, because I want the kids to see what he did. It's not just about standing there with your iPod playing top 40 songs. You know, we're trying to just keep that tradition going. I'll probably finish this new album that I have. It's called It Is What It Isn't. And I mean, that speaks for itself, because I'm definitely not what it is. And with this new album, it would be similar, same kind of deal. I'm gonna have a bunch of different people on it. I'm trying to get some newer MCs that maybe don't have as much light as other people on this one, and focus on that a little bit more. But I'm not gonna stop my DJing. I'm just gonna keep practicing every day, keep trying to get better, keep learning new stuff, keeping that vibe going, you know, still playing the breaks and playing some old school stuff for people, playing the new stuff that's worthy to be played and that's good, keeping that boom bap going, still doing my graph, and just trying to keep my family happy and raise my son who was born this year, and be a good father. You know, I see a lot of guys that sometimes I think they could be doing a better job at that, and my kid's got to grow up and live in the world with everybody else, so I want them to do it the right way. Just try to support the good people that are out there doing stuff. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, and it's easy to want fame, and it's easy to want to get extra views and extra retweets and clicks on your page, but you know, that's not really what the world's about. You know, popularity is an insult that I never had to suffer. It's really cool to be able to do what you love and stay grounded and still be successful. So, you know, don't sleep on the guys that maybe don't have all the views. Some of these guys are really good, and they're only a click or two away on your computer. So do your homework, do your research, and you know, support some of these new guys like a Rashid Chappelle. You know, support the Q&5 movement and Tone Deaf and these guys. You need to do your homework and support. Don't just fall for the okie doke because this guy looks cool, you know. And you're checking out the B-Shine. Let me explain something to you. This man is traveling all over the place in freezing cold weather, getting tons of good people for you to check it out and to help the movement keep going. The guy's traveling to different cities, different states, he's out in the rain, in the cold, and he's doing you a service, he's doing me a service, so you really need to support the B-Shine. It's something really awesome. A lot of people just want to go and tweet about the new Jay-Z record, and that doesn't do anybody any good. He's already rich and famous. So support what this guy's doing and check out all the people on his site. It's definitely something that you need to check out. Peace.